Welcome back to the Shreveport Connection. This video is on your Raw results and some NXT spoilers, along with the birthdays. Speaking of birthdays, Alberto El Patron is now he's known as. Real name of Jose Alberto Rodriguez turned 38 years old. He was born May 25th, 1977. Bo Dallas turned 25. He's born May 25th, 1990. Of course, he's the brother of Bray Wyatt, the son of Mike Rotunda, IRS, the nephew of Barry and Kendall Windham, and the grandson of Blackjack Mulligan. Former TNA performer D'Angelo Gennaro, a.k.a. Elijah Burke, turned 37 on Sunday. He was born May 24, 1978. Bray Wyatt turned 28 on Saturday. He was born May 23, 1987. He's the brother of Bo Dallas, the son of Mike Rotunda, the nephew of Barry and Kendall Windham, grandson of Blackjack Mulligan. Does that look familiar? Alex Shelley turned 32 on Saturday, May 23rd, 1983. It's his birthday. And there was no dark match advertised for Raw from the Arena website. Hulk Hogan claims that he will play the most evil man in the world in the fourth installment of Sylvester Stallone's The Expendables franchise. That would be number 4. And trying to figure out a way to maybe turn me into the most evil man in the world, Hogan stated in a recent interview. So, Stallone gave me my first break, and he's been a great friend for all these years. He's the exact same guy today as he was 30 years ago. Read more at punchdrunkcritics.com. Hogan also claimed that he auditioned for Metallica, and his story of WrestleMania 3 match with Andre the Giant gets grander and grander each time he tells it. I'm not saying that he won't play the lead villain in the next flick, but just saying that Hulk has a reputation of telling some little small tales. And news is thanks to .NET member Lewis Stevenson for passing along the story. Two-Man Power Trip Wrestling Podcast with Bob Zmuda. Interview available at tmptow.podomatic.com. Pinpointing your favorite match or opponent during your career. First match against Ric Flair at the Great American Bash. 13 months into the business, I'm still green, still wet behind the ears, and yet I was given the opportunity to step in a main event match against a legend like Ric Flair and have that kind of exposure. Also, my 8-man matches against the Horsemen in War Games. Speaking of, didn't get the name, but it's Nikita Koloff, who this interview is by. Any hesitations in competing in the original War Games, the dangers of what he did, because it is not an exact science, and you do put a lot of trust into the hands of whom you are working with in the ring as your opponent. That serious things that can and will and do happen in and outside of the square circle. For me personally, it wasn't so much a match like War Games as much as it was an individual. There were certain individuals who had a reputation for being more reckless than others and more careless than you might say when it came to some of their moves or when it came to their in-ring skills and abilities. And so, if I was cautious at all, it was what I allowed an opponent to do to me as opposed to a match itself like the War Games. Whether there were any interest from Vince McMahon and the WWF for him to jump ship in the mid-'80s when Crusher Khrushchev jumped. He had originally asked me to go with him, and I certainly was humbled by his invitation, but literally, without hesitation, it was not something I was really considering for a couple of reasons. One, I had worked really hard on developing the character of Nikita Koloff, and wasn't really interested in going up there and taking on a new character and a new role, and that is the biggest reason I never entertained another offer. Secondly, what he described to me, I felt it was a kind of a spinoff of the Road Warriors out of respect for Mike and Joe. That was another factor why I didn't go do that. As far as Vince and the WWF pursuing me, they really didn't. but I also didn't pursue them. I felt really loyal to the NWA and to Jim Crockett because they did give me my break, putting a guy in the ring and on television without any professional training or experience at all. Jim Crockett rolled the dice, and it worked out well for me and for him as well. For that reason, I felt a real loyalty to Jim and the NWA. So could I have played that card like so many other guys did and have that leverage for more money? I could have, but I didn't. Being up for the role of Ivan Drago in the Rocky IV, they flew me out to L.A. It was myself, Dolph Lundgren, and some other guy. It came down to the three of us as to who would get the final cast of the Ivan Drago. So we were on the set with Stallone, and I read through my lines a couple of times, and Stallone said, "Let's do one together." He says, "Let's go side by side and finish your lines. Stare at me in the face, and we will have a stare down, and we'll cut." So we did it. We go halfway through, and we're eye to eye and nose to nose, and he yells, "Cut." And then asks the director, "How was it?" Sly in real life is in great shape, but he is about 160 pounds and 5'6", dripping wet with rocks in his pocket. Legitimately, he is a small guy. A lot of actors are. Keep in mind, I fly out there, and I'm 285 pounds with a 34-inch waist and 8% body fat. So when we do that scene and we turn towards each other, the way the lighting was in the studio, when he yells, "Cut," the director says, "Well, it was pretty good until you turn towards each other, and he cast a shadow on you, and we lost you." I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but I knew this almost immediately. That wasn't good for his ego or my opportunity. A few weeks later, they called and said, "You were unbelievable. However, even for Hollywood, your size differential would be too unbelievable that even for Rocky, that he would be able to come back and beat you as big as you are." I was humbled by the opportunity to even be considered as one of those three finalists. Other topics included his legendary feud with Magnum TA, teaming with Dusty Rhodes, and memories of joining the Russians alongside Ivan Koloff, his relationship with Lex Luger, and his legacy in the wrestling business. Samoa Joe, currently in NXT for WWE. And guess what? He's got dual duty because he's still in Ring of Honor as well. And he's got that some type of deal in the contract, because here it is. Joe's deal with NXT allows him to take indie bookings, including Ring of Honor TV events as well. This should ease the concerns of those who feared that NXT was out to destroy Ring of Honor by raiding its talent and running live events. The cool thing about the tag match is that Joe, Styles, Daniels, and Kazarian are longtime friends, which is a future match in their tapings, which I will get to later. The following matches were taped on May 21st from Winter Park, Florida. That's formerly a place where I bowled for a chance at the Olympic Team USA team, which I didn't quite make the top 16. I missed it by 10 pins. Yes, that was bowling. Yes, I'm multi-talented. Again, for the NXT, back to the NXT TV show. Show opened with Sami Zayn's music, but Kevin Owens came out instead. Of course, he's a champion. He was wearing a John Cena shirt and said he was thinking about doing an NXT Championship Open Challenge. But then he realized he's not insecure, and he's only going to defend his title against people who earn it. He said he'll do to everyone who threatens his title reign what he did to Sami Zayn, because they're threatening his livelihood and his ability to provide for his family. Owens said he let Samoa Joe have his moment because Joe is a nice guy, and Owens wanted to give the fans a nice moment after what he did to Zayn. He said if Joe gets in the ring with him again, he's going to drop Joe. He said in an Elimination Chamber, he's going to drop Cena and prove that the real champ is here. Well, Regal came out and listed off the guys who Owens had taken out of NXT. Owens denied Tommy, but accepted Riley, Neville, Zayn. Solomon Crowe then came out and said he was sick of listening to his crap. As Crowe said, Owens was a scared piece of crap. So Owens said that Crowe earned himself an opportunity with that. So the main event of the show would be Kevin Owens versus Solomon Crowe, non-title match. But you know what happens in a non-title match? If the challenger wins, he gets a title shot. Well, match number 1, Emma over Bayley. Dana Brooke was in Emma's corner, and the two heels beat Bayley down after the match. Charlotte ran down to make the save, but she was outnumbered and laid out as well. Match number 2, NXT Tag Team Champions Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss squashed the Enhancement Team in a non-title match. Match number 3 was Finn Balor defeating Ty Dillinger. Match number 4, NXT Champion Kevin Owens defeated Solomon Crowe in that non-title match. Samoa Joe came out after the match to confront Owens, but of course Owens took off running. Okay, spoilers for more NXT TV tapings for May and June. Taped on May 21st. The reporter attended this week the week's NXT TV tapings for Full Sail University. And live updates. Kevin Owens kicked off taping number 1 to Sami Zayn's music. Owens took shots at Joe, Sami, and Cena. Regal comes out and had words. Crowe came out, called Owens a piece of crap. Well, it's the same results as the previous one. Regal made a match with Owens versus Crowe. Emma with Dana. Brooke defeated Bayley. They then double teamed her with Charlotte coming out for the save as Dana took Charlotte out, and the segment ended with Dana and Emma standing tall. And basically, your tag team champions, Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss defeated. These are the names of the unnamed wrestlers in that tag match: Elias Sampson and Mike Rallis in a non-title match. As Bliss hit splash on Mike after the match. And then Finn Balor defeated Ty Dillinger. Owens defeated Crowe and dominated the whole match. Owens went to powerbomb on the apron, but Joe came out for the save. And then Joe entered the ring as Owens took off running. Left the crowd booing. Okay. Taping number 2. Tyler Breeze defeated Adam Rose. Greg Hamilton interviewed Eva Marie on stage with so many boos you couldn't even hear the "You Can't Wrestle" chant. Finally said that she hopes to get in on NXT Divas competition. Bliss with Blake and Murphy defeated Carmella with Enzo Amore and Cass using the ropes. Vault Villains then defeated Marcus Lewis and Jason Jordan. Finn Balor defeated Rhino. Yeah, Rhino, formerly of WWE, WWF, ECW, TNA. As Rhino came back on stage and gored Balor across the stage after the match as trainers checked on Balor and helped him to the back. Woo, woo, woo. Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley defeated Rallis and Sampson to start taping number 3 and then celebrated in the ring after their win. Emma defeated Blue Pants, whoever that is. Crazy pop for Blue Pants. Greg Hamilton led the crowd in singing happy birthday to her afterwards. Tyler Breeze defeated Bull Dempsey. Cardio chants when Bull was running around the ring. Samoa Joe defeated Scott Dawson with a Muscle Buster. Owens was on commentary, and then he cut a promo after the match and called Owens to the ring. Joe cut the promo after the match, called Owens into the ring, as Owens said Joe should thank him for not coming in. Owens called Joe a rookie in NXT and said he has to earn his title shot. And William Regal comes out and makes the match, Owens versus Joe, non-title for next week. And then they have one more taping. Enzo and Cass and Carmella defeated Blake, Alexa Bliss, and Murphy in a 6-person mixed tag match to start the final taping. Vault Villains defeated Jason Jordan and wrestler named the K's, with K's or Kazi, whichever how you pronounce it, got legitimately injured. Match was stopped. Trainers and EMTs came in to check on him and finally helped him to the back away several minutes later. And then Charlotte beat a new recruit named of KC. Then Joe versus Owens ended in a DQ when Owens rammed the ref into Joe. And then they brawled. Ref went down. Brawl continued until they were separated. Joe looked to leave, but Owens called him a bitch, told him to come fight, and they had a big brawl again. And you got the new rookies coming out to break it up and separate them, but they kept running across the ring and fighting themselves. Owens dropped one or two of the rookies and posed on the stage with the title, and leaves with a big pop for Joe to end the show. Superstars TV taping. TV, well, Superstars Internet. Well, of course, probably on the Internet, on the network. Match number 1, Heath Slater defeated Adam Rose. Slater won in roughly a 6-minute match. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper defeated the Meta Powers. Harper pinned Curtis Axel in about 8 minutes after what looked like a lariat clothesline. And the live notes of Raw pre-show broadcasted from the WWE Network. Scott Stafford and Corey Graves, along with David Otunga, hosted the show and hyped that it's now okay to wear white pants. White jeans loving Jeff Jarrett would have been thrilled by this development in 2003. John Cena will defend the U.S. title in another open challenge advertised for Raw. WWE has updated their new set as hosts now have a desk with laptops, including the spiffy WWE Network logo on the back. Graves has a smaller laptop, which clearly has some deeper meaning that should lead to months of conspiracy theory and speculation. After a John Cena and Kevin Owens video package aired, Corey Graves said that the only things that Owens cares about are his family and the NXT title. Each of the wrestlers who will work the Elimination Chamber match for the vacant Intercontinental Championship match will be in action on Raw. Was advertised. This was amazing news for those of you who have spent their entire holiday weekend praying for an R-Truth match on Raw. The Rusev, Lana, Dolph Ziggler saga was mentioned. Otunga said he thinks that Lana is acting out to get Ziggler's attention. There was a poll with 62% of the fans wanting Lana to end up with Dolph Ziggler. I believe 38% voted for Lana ending up with Zach Zimmerman. He's a reporter from a couple of the dirt sheets. But I could be mistaken. Stanford hyped the U.S. Open Challenge for Raw again, along with the cast of Entourage appearing as the guest stars. And the host closed the show by listing their dream entourages. Go to the main page. Going to the main page for the Raw results. As noted, actor Stephen Amell of Arrow, who worked a brief angle with Stardust at Raw this week, has expressed interest in guest hosting and possibly wrestling in the past. It's now confirmed that WWE is looking at doing some sort of program between Amell and Stardust. Regarding WWE NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks missing last week's NXT Live events and tapings, there is now talk that she suffered either an arm or a shoulder injury, but it was reported earlier the week that she was not injured. Banks was scheduled to work a match during the 4th episode of last Thursday's NXT tapings, but she left to go to the hospital when her fiancé, Sarah Tan, working as Mikaze, or McKays, that I was saying earlier, because they called it K's. So you get different names. As was legitimately knocked unconscious during a tag match with Jason Jordan, as the match was stopped and involved villains. Also noted, Sarah was recently hired as a new WWE seamster. We don't know yet if Banks went into her takeover match against Becky Lynch with an injury or how serious it was, but as before, it's possible she didn't wrestle at the tapings due to Sarah's injury, and now we know that her match was scheduled on the same taping that he was injured on. Brock Lesnar returning to Raw and pay-per-view. As WWE is advertising Brock Lesnar for the June 22nd edition of Raw from Indianapolis, Indiana, which is later this month. Advertisement appears on the Bankers Life Fieldhouse Twitter page. Meanwhile, WWE is also advertising Lesnar for the July 19th Battleground pay-per-view. Lesnar has not appeared on WWE TV since the night after WrestleMania when he was written out of storylines with the on-air suspension. Thanks to .net readers, Aaron Greider, Darius Malsiski, and Cody Hunts for passing along that news. WWE star Shamus is playing the role of Rocksteady in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 film. And you can view a photo of Shamus in costume at dailymail.co.uk. Thanks to John Cino and Lewis Stevenson for that, passing along the news on that. As the film is slated to be released on June 3rd, 2016, it's worth noting that Stephen Amell also has a role in that film. As Amell, who stars in the Arrow TV series, appeared on Monday's Raw and was confronted by Stardust. WWE announced that there will be NXT matches at the Aftershock Festival in Sacramento, California on October 24th, 25th. The advertised names include Finn Balor, Sasha Banks, Blake and Murphy, Charlotte, Bayley, and Baron Corbin. And you can read more about it from WWE.com. The bands playing at the event include Amazing Faith No More, plus Slipknot, Deftones, Shinedown, Jane's Addiction, Marilyn Manson. But it's worth noting that while Manson is touring with TNA creative team member Billy Corrigan this summer, Corrigan's group Smashing Pumpkins is not listed for the tour. All right, the Raw edition from May 25th, 2015, opened up with a video for Memorial Day and live from Nassau Coliseum from Long Island for the final WWE event in the venue. Yes, they're closing down the venue. Ethan Styles in the ring and asks everyone to stand for the 10-bell salute. Of course, it's Memorial Day, and we go to normal Raw opening video. Pyro goes off, and we're live from Long Island with Michael Cole, JBL, and Booker T. We go to the ring. Out comes Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Kane, Joey Mercury, Jamie Noble, and WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins as they all head to the ring. Of course, that's your authority. We get hyped for the WWE World Heavyweight title match at the Elimination Chamber as Rollins asks the fans to give it up for Dean Ambrose, as they do. Rollins says Ambrose acted like a common thug last week to get what he wanted, a title shot. A "you sold out" chant started from the crowd. Rollins goes back to the fans and fan chant for Ambrose. Rollins says that the Authority made their match under duress, and that's how they operate, and that's not best for business. As Triple H and Stephanie seem to agree. Rollins says that they could take the title shot away from Ambrose right now. Rollins says Triple H could even fire Ambrose right now. Rollins says Triple H actually considered it, but he asked him not to fire Ambrose. Rollins says Ambrose isn't really a threat. Anyway, so they didn't fire him. And he isn't even on his level as Triple H calls Ambrose to the ring to keep his title shot, and he comes out to the stage. Ambrose says all it took was a steel chair, a few center blocks, and some imagination to get a title shot. Ambrose says that there's a good chance that the Authority's Golden Boy gets replaced by someone they call a lunatic, but everyone else will just call the face of WWE. Ambrose says he will make some changes around here. Ambrose cracks jokes on the members of the Authority and gets a Justin Bieber chant going at Rollins, as Rollins talks about how it wouldn't be that bad to be Bieber. They have words, and Ambrose makes his way to the ring to fight, but stops at ringside and fans chant his name. Roman Reigns' music hits, and out he comes to the crowd. Stephanie stops them and announces Kane and Rollins versus Reigns and Ambrose for tonight, and that match is happening right now. Triple H music hits as we go to commercial. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus Kane and Seth Rollins. Back for the break, and they're already going at it. Kane and Reigns go at it with Reigns knocking Kane to the floor. Kane fights back and goes for the suplex, but Reigns counters with one of his own. Ambrose tags in for some double teaming. Ambrose goes to work on the arm, but Kane pushes him to the corner, and Rollins comes in. Ambrose kicks Rollins and tags in Reigns for a double team, Clothesline. Reigns takes Rollins down with a headlock. They end up on the floor, and Rollins takes control of the distraction when Kane and Double J security got involved. Kane rolls Reigns back in, and Rollins covers for a 2 count. Rollins keeps Reigns grounded, but the fans chant for Ambrose. Ambrose finally gets the tag and unloads on Rollins as Ambrose with a bulldog, clothesline over the top. Ambrose runs the ropes and dives onto Rollins. Kane comes over, but Reigns rocks him. We go to commercial with Reigns and Ambrose standing tall in the ring. Back from the break. They still have Ambrose down. He finally hits a huge clothesline on Rollins, and Reigns tags in, as well as Kane. Reigns unloads and hits clothesline in the corner. He knocks Mercury off the apron. Noble takes a Superman punch. Kane drops Reigns with a big boot. Kane calls for a choke slam, but Reigns blocks it with elbows. Kane deals a big right hand. Ambrose tags himself in, and Reigns hits a Superman punch on Kane. Ambrose with a top rope elbow drop for a 2 count. As Rollins breaks the pin. Rollins tags in and springboards with a knee to Ambrose's face for a 2 count. Rollins blocks Dirty Deeds for Ambrose as Ambrose comes back but misses a big clothesline. They trade holds, and Ambrose pins Rollins with a backslide. And my daughter's trying to get her 2 cents worth in. As in the winners of the match, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. After the match, Ambrose taunts Rollins from the ring. Coleslaw reminds us that Ambrose still has to sign the contract tonight before the match is official. And the announcers plug the WWE Network and the Elimination Chamber. Still to come segment. Still to come. The cast of Entourage will be here. Thank you. And go back to commercial. And my daughter threw a flower in. How cute. Okay. Back from the break, and Renee Young is backstage with Dean Ambrose asking him about the contract. Double J security walks up and taunts Ambrose. He smacks Noble and beats down Mercury before beating on them both. Cameraman goes down during this melee, and Ambrose looks concerned about it. And the announcers led us to a video for Kevin Owens versus John Cena. That led to a supposedly an arrest was made. As later on, we'll get an internet video. Somebody posted a video and sent it in, and when they released it, Ambrose from the jail. Rusev versus R-Truth, and your R-Truth match for Monday Night Raw. We got to ring out comes Rusev with the Bulgarian flag. He's also wearing colors of Bulgaria, since he's no longer with Lana. As Coleslaw says, Rusev has moved back to his native Bulgaria. As we go to commercial, come back and the cast of Entourage minus Aerie comes out with a limousine in the back. Rusev is in the ring and received vacant WWE Intercontinental title belt at ringside, and he looked back and Rusev split with Lana. R-Truth makes his way out next. They go at it with Rusev hitting hard. Truth comes back with a big kick to knock Rusev down for a 2 count. Rusev comes right back and beats down Truth before stomping on his back and applying the accolade for the easy win. After the match, Rusev takes the mic and yells for Lana to come out. He says that they need to talk and asks her to please come down. Rusev waits as we go back to commercial. We come back and Rusev is still waiting in the ring. He says he's not leaving until Lana comes out. Lana's music hits and out she comes to the ring. Lana says that he asked her to come. He asked her to come, and now she's waiting to hear what he has to say. Rusev said he knows Lana cares about him no matter what has happened. Rusev says he knows Lana wants to crush America and the American spirit just as bad as he does. As the fans boo and start a USA chant, Rusev asks Lana to take his hand and all will be forgotten. Fans chant no as Rusev tries to convince her. They finally hug and Lana doesn't look so sure.
Daddy, where's my other walkie-talkie?
I don't know, baby girl. Okay, fans chant no. Rusev tries to convince her to finally hug, and Lana doesn't look so sure. They raise their arms and fought, then everything will be back to normal. Lana says she was not wrong. Rusev did say that he quit at Payback. Rusev yells that she's a liar and he never quits. He says she needs to know her place. Rusev says he owns Lana and tells her to go back. Get back here. Lana just looks at her from the apron, but he comes back into the ring. Lana says no, calls him a liar and a quitter. She then says so cowardly he can't take responsibility for his own actions. Lana says she belongs to no one. She says she's no longer Rusev's victim. She says he's never going to listen to Rusev's caveman crap again. Drops the mic and walks off as the fans pop. Rusev throws a fit, and out comes Dolph Ziggler to meet Lana on the stage. They kiss as Rusev looks on from the ring and continues to throw a fit. Ambrose backstage with Rollins and Triple H is walking in. Cameraman that went down earlier walks in with two police officers, and Triple H asks if he still wants to press charges. The guy looks to say otherwise, but Rollins shuts him up. The guy does press charges, and the two cops take Ambrose away in handcuffs as we go to commercial. Back from the break, and Ambrose is being loaded into a police van as the authority taunts him. King Barrett versus Ryback was up next. And we go to the ring. Out comes King Barrett. Ryback was next. Ryback starts with a Thesz press, goes to work on Barrett. Barrett gets up, but Ryback nails a big scoop slam. Ryback ready for the meat hook as the fans chant "Feed me more," but Barrett rolls to the floor. Ryback follows, and Barrett kicks his taped ribs. Barrett sends Ryback into the barrier. Barrett brings it back in and wails away on Ryback as he lays over the top turnbuckle. Barrett nails a big knee to the ribs for a 2 count. And then Barrett keeps control and nails another elbow from the second rope for a 2 count. Barrett gets another knee to the back. And now the match is back, going back and forth. Barrett pulls Ryback off the second rope and nails the ribs to change for a 2 count. Barrett ready for a bullhammer, but Ryback can't get to his feet. Barrett slams him around and talks trash. Barrett slaps him around, talks trash. Ryback nails spinebuster out of nowhere. Ryback shell shock for the win. Triple H, Stephanie backstage. Triple H hangs up the phone as Ambrose is on his way to Central booking. He says Ambrose won't be able to make it back tonight, which means he won't be able to sign a contract. Stephanie wonders who Rollins will face at an Elimination Chamber. The cast of Entourage walks in and jokes around with the two. Turtle asks if Ambrose just got arrested, and Stephanie apologizes but says that won't damper on tonight's festivities. And they plug the new Entourage movie, and they call it WrestleMania of movies. They mention Ronda Rousey being in the movie, and Turtle makes it awkward when he talks about Rousey beating up Stephanie. Stephanie tells them where their dressing room is, and as they walk off, they go to commercial. Stardust versus Neville was up next. Back from the break, Stardust making his entrance. Stephen Amell was at ringside and had some words with Stardust. Neville was out next to a big pop. They go out to start the match, but Stardust takes out the injured knee. Stardust works over Neville when Bo Dallas makes his way out and watches from ringside. Stardust controlled most of the match, but Neville knocked him off the top. Neville climbed up and hit the red arrow for the win. After the match, Bo got in the ring and tells Neville to just believe. Bo then kicks out Neville's injured knee and goes down in pain. Entourage guys walk up on Summer Rae, Layla, Emma, and Alicia Fox. They go hang out when we see Eric talking to Zack Ryder. Eric is talking Ryder into doing something tonight for the Coliseum before it shuts down. Eric brings the rest of the guys into Zack's dressing room to go over their idea, and then they leave the Divas hanging, thinking the guy's gay. Well, we shall soon see. We see Lana and Dolph Ziggler backstage talking. Ziggler walks off to the ring as we go to commercial. So we get Ziggler versus Sheamus. Back from the break, and out comes Sheamus after a Money Back promo. They go to the corner and start fighting, but Sheamus knocks Ziggler down and works him into another corner. Sheamus drops Ziggler and stomps away as the fans move. Ziggler with a kick to the shoulder, but Sheamus comes right back and runs over him. Sheamus drops his knees and rakes Ziggler's face. Sheamus keeps Ziggler grounded with a headlock. Ziggler tries to make a comeback, but Sheamus drops him again. Sheamus stands over Ziggler and talks trash before going back to work on him. Sheamus tosses Ziggler to the floor. They come back in and go back and forth. Ziggler hits a drop kick and sends them both over the top. Sheamus catches him on the floor, hits a big slam. Lana comes out to the stage and watches Sheamus, bringing him back in the ring as they go to commercial. Back from the break. Sheamus nails the Irish curse back, breaking for the 2 count. Sheamus then talks trash as Lana looks on from the stage. Sheamus keeps control until Ziggler finally got some momentum going. Ziggler nailed the crossbody from the top and then a famouser for a 2 count. Ziggler blocks white noise and a brogue kick, sending Sheamus into the ring post. Ziggler gets a big kick for a close 2 count. Rusev comes walking past Lana and runs to the ring. Ziggler super kicks him on the apron but turns around into a brogue kick for Sheamus for the win. After the match, Rusev entered the ring. Lana came down the ringside and looked on as Rusev hit Ziggler with a big knee. He stares back at Lana and he looks angry at him. As she looks angry at him, Ziggler took another shot but fought back. Rusev dropped him and stopped him on his back before applying the accolade right in front of Lana. Rusev broke the hold and leaves Ziggler laying as he walks to the stage. Rusev yells back at Lana to kiss Ziggler now. Kiss him now. Still to come segment. John Cena's U.S. Open Challenge. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Out comes U.S. champion John Cena. As the fans chant their own version of his theme song. Cena hits the ring as raises the title. Cena talks about his fan reaction and they start dueling chants. Yeah, let's go Cena. Cena sucks. Cena goes on about the fans and the crowd starts chanting for Zack. Cena finally brings a NXT champion, Kevin Owens, and his name gets a pop. Cena says Owens left him incapacitated last week, broke the internet, and then broke Sami Zayn in half at TakeOver. Cena says the one chanting Cena sucks believe Owens is the man to keep Cena and the man to change what they think needs to be changed around here. Cena says the one chanting that will be able to chant Fight Owens Fight this weekend. Cena tries to manipulate the chant into a Let's Go Cena Fight Owens Fight chant, but it doesn't happen. Cena says Owens proved that last week and he knows how to start a fight, but he will find out on Sunday if he can finish one. Cena brings up tonight's U.S. Open Challenge and says he has great pride putting the title on the line for Memorial Day. Cena kicks off the Open Challenge and out comes 4 guys from the entourage stage. Cena asks the fans to give it up for them and they get some boos. Cena asks which one of them is going to come in the ring with him. Eric calls it a childhood fantasy to step in the ring into a WWE ring, but they're here to introduce a superstar to answer Cena's challenge. A Long Island boy just like him. They introduce Zack Ryder and out he comes to a pop. So we get Zack Ryder versus John Cena. Back for the break, we get dueling chant for Cena and Ryder. Castle Entourage watches from ringside. They go at it and Cena hits a suplex for a 2 count. Cena with a deck down. As Ryder goes for the broski boot. He went for a takedown and a 2 count. Cena whipped Ryder into the corner. Ran in with an elbow. Cena whipped Ryder into another corner. But Ryder got his knees up. Ryder delivered a missile drop kick and a forearm in the corner. Goes for the broski boot, but Cena got up and hit his shoulder tackles. Cena with a big slam, calls for the attitude adjustment as the fans boo. Drama gets into the ring, but backs off as is pulled to safety. Ryder rolls Cena up for a 2 count. Cena comes back, but Ryder slams him on his face for a 2 count. Ryder nails the broski and the boot and gets another 2 count. Ryder nailed the Rough Rider for a 2 count. Another close 2 count. Ryder went up top for the 450 spot, but misses, and Cena will move out of the way. Cena nails the attitude adjustment for the win. After the match, Cena helps Ryder up and raises his arm as the fans pop. The guys from Entourage come in with Ryder and Cena to celebrate. They leave, and Cena hits the turnbuckle to pose with the title. Cena turns around and is ran over by Kevin Owens, coming from the crowd. Owens hits the pop-up powerbomb and lays out Cena. Owens stands over Cena with the NXT title. Fans chant for NXT and Owens. stomps on Cena's title belt. Owen smiles and raises his title as we go to replays. Owen's music hits and he leaves as Cena starts recovering in the ring. And that was the end of that segment. Stephanie, Triple H, and Rollins backstage watching. Stephanie says Owens is so impressive, he's almost scary. She says Triple H knows how to pick talent. Rollins says he's known Owens for a long time and downplays him, saying he's still the future and the present. Renee Young comes in for an update on Dean Ambrose, but Stephanie doesn't have one. She says that they will still give him the chance to sign the contract at the end of the night. Then we'll see what happened earlier with Ambrose and Double J Security. When the camera went down, we also see the police arresting Ambrose. And we get Tamina Snuka versus Paige match. And out come the Bellas for Twin Magic commentary. Back to the commercial. Back for the break, Naomi was out with Tamina. Paige made her way out by herself. Paige and Tamina will go out to start. They end up on the apron. Paige hits a bunch of knees. Tamina knocks her off the apron to the floor. Paige crawls back in, but Tamina threw her out, back to the mat and kept her grounded. Paige finally made the comeback and unloaded on Tamina. She connected with a drop kick and then a super kick. Tamina rolled to the floor to regroup, but Paige leaps off the apron and takes her out. Flying body press and brought her back in the ring, but Tamina met her coming in. Referee backed Tamina off, but is distracted when Naomi ran over for a cheap shot on Paige. Tamina with a big Samoan drop on Paige for the win. After the match, Naomi and Tamina look on from ringside as the Bella Twins also stand at ringside. Back from the break, and the WWE Tag Team Champions, the New Day, are in the ring. Cut promo saying that they're being persecuted for being positive. They're not happy about defending inside the Elimination Chamber on Sunday. That's one match I didn't particularly see on the pay-per-view. They ripped the fans and the Coliseum, calling them losers. This leads to a New Day such chant. Cage music hits. And out he comes to the stage. Yes, I'm delivering this video a little late. Cage music hits. Out he comes to the stage. Kane makes the New Day versus Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, Los Matadors, The Ascension, Primetime Players, and Lucha Dragons in a 10-on-3 handicap tag match. And that match is up next. Well, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd out first with Natalia. Titus O'Neil, Darren Young were out, followed by Fernando Diego with El Torito. Connor and Victor were out next, followed by Sakara and Kalisto. As we go to commercial, back from the break, Kalisto is already going at it with Xavier Woods. Woods gets the upper hand and taunts the other superstars. They all rush in. He's got some decent offense on. Yep. They all rush in at once and beat him down for the disqualification. Big E and Kofi Kingston also run in, and everyone fights. It comes down to the Lucha Dragons in the ring after they send Kidd and Cesaro out with everyone else. Sin Cara and Kalisto go to the top and splash out onto all the other teams. New Day come back in the ring and stand tall. Winners by disqualification, the New Day. New Day celebrates, but Kidd nails a drop kick. Cesaro drops Woods and then does Cesaro swing on him. Kidd stops it with a drop kick. They pose with Natalia in the ring as Cesaro's music plays. Then we get a trailer for the WWE Network sneak peek of Daniel Bryan DVD. Back from the break. And Daniel Bryan is announced for Miz TV for the Elimination Chamber pre-show. We see footage of Dean Ambrose segment earlier, and it shows Seth Rollins pushing the cameraman that I described it earlier into Ambrose. So he should not be in jail right now. And we go to the ring. Out comes the Authority. Rollins talks about how Ambrose is a criminal. Stephanie talks about how Ambrose struck an employee and she wants to say more about their lawyers have advised them not to, as it's an ongoing investigation. Triple H said despite Ambrose's state of mind, they were still willing to give him a title shot if he just signed a contract. Triple H says that they have no choice but to formally announce that Seth Rollins will Roman Reigns music hits, and out he comes for the interruption. And he rushes to the ring and tackles Rollins. Double J security attack him, as does Kane, but he fights him off. Triple H and Stephanie retreat to the floor. The numbers game catches up with Rollins and Reigns as they beat him down. Kane chokeslams Reigns and beatdown continues as Stephanie cheers him on. Fan chant for Ambrose. A police siren goes off as we see the van that was carried Ambrose from earlier pull back into the arena. Ambrose hops out to a big pop. He rushes the ring and unloads on all the authority. He drops Kane with clotheslines and tackles Rollins with more punches. Rollins goes to hit Ambrose with the nightstick. He brought in, but Reigns makes the save. Reigns and Ambrose take turns on Rollins before sending him to the floor. Double J security and Kane come in to beat up Reigns and Ambrose, but they fight back. Reigns with a spear on Mercury and Noble at the same time. Kane tosses Reigns to the floor. Reigns runs back and hits the Superman punch on Kane. Ambrose with dirty deeds on Kane. Contract is brought in, and Ambrose signs it in time, so the match is still on for the Elimination Chamber. Rollins and Triple H Stephanie look on for the stage. Surprise, as Reigns and Ambrose stare back from the ring as Raw goes off the air. Damon Peruso attended the Raw from Uniondale, New York, and sent the following report on what happened after Raw went off the air. Vince McMahon comes out before the show started and thanked us for ever coming to the Nassau Coliseum, as it will be closing. He promised a good show. The crowd was packed, maybe a few open seats, but that was it. Crowd loved Ambrose and chanted Ryder all night long. Although they weren't into all the matches, they were here and there. It's a really long show, and it did drag a few times. In the dark match main event, Randy Orton defeated Bray Wyatt. And the reporter and his buddies chanted for the tables early on. Orton eventually hit the RKO after he countered Sister Abigail. So he faced Bray Wyatt. Okay, biggest pops, he said, Dean Ambrose, Zack Ryder, and Lana. Most heat was Seth Rollins, Rusev, and John Cena. And that's it for this, for May 25th edition of Raw. And also the NXT spoilers. Thanks for viewing. Peace out. God bless. See you one more video. By the way, if you don't know, you better call me, bro.